What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am doing a track walk on the very newly released Millville 2021. This is a track made by Agitato, and he made the 2020 version as well, which I would rank in there as probably one of my favourite all-time tracks, so I'm expecting high things about this. Unfortunately, to this point, this isn't a live commentary, purely because, as you know, I'm such an amazing YouTuber and never make any mistakes. And definitely don't mute my microphone whilst I'm trying to play and record. It's not the end of the world, to be honest. I can just have a little talk over this afterwards. Agitato seems to be on a bit of a content grind at the moment. You know, he released Thunder Valley just the other week. He's been releasing assets like that Motorsport Arch, for example, the start banners that you saw over there behind the start gate, and just came out with this track as well. So I'm interested to see what else he's got in the works. I've got, I had fairly high expectations of this track actually, with the 2020 version being one of my favourites. I have some interesting memories on that track. When I first got the game, it was, I want to say it was like the second track that I ever raced on in a fun race, and it absolutely whooped my arse. The track that I raced on before this was Dorno, and obviously Dorno's quite a flat, easy track. And then switching over to the 2020 Millville was just, yeah, it was a kick up the arse to show how much work I needed to do to get any good at the game. So after I basically crashed multiple times every lap, I decided to just grind the shit out of the tracks, and yeah, I ended up being pretty good at it, and it was probably one of my favourites now, so I'm hoping the same for this. I did a couple of laps before I sat down to do the actual recording for this as well. As I always do, just to familiarise myself with the track a bit, and I can say it's just as fun as the other one, maybe a little bit more, purely off the basis of I feel like this version's a little bit more new player friendly. I don't know if it's how the layout's changed slightly with that massive uphill being easier to do now, so you don't get as bad slow physics, or maybe some of the jumps seem to be a little bit easier to clear, like this section in the 2020 version. The step up that I'm coming up to now was a real stretch. It's really hard to do, but it's fairly easy now, and I don't know if that's because the run-ups changed from the jumps being shaved down a little bit beforehand, but I would definitely say that if you're in that intermediate range at the moment where you want a slightly harder track to practice and get better at, this is probably the one to do it on. It's got a little bit of everything, so it's got some really fast flat out turns, it's got some long rollers, which, as you know, Millville's a bit famous for, and then it's got corners like this one I'm going into now, where these braking bumps can really catch you off guard if you're not careful and just kick you over the bars. As usual, in this video I'm doing a couple laps in first person. I think I end up doing like 3 or so, so this is number 2 now, and then I go into third person as well, even though it's the pace is considerably slower when I play third person in this game. I'm not very good at it, which is a bit weird considering it's where I started. I remember posting like Washugal hot laps in third person on my 125 way back when I first got the game. But yeah, I really struggle in third person now. I don't know what it is. I just can't go around the corner properly. I either don't turn enough and go over a berm, or turn too much and just wash the front end instantly. Yeah, but enough of that. Back to the track. There's some really interesting lines on this track. So that hill that I just went down, I spent maybe 20 minutes or so just resetting over and over, trying to double down it from the top to the bottom, and I think it's doable. The only issue is trying to stop for the corner. I've done it where I've just barely gone over the corner afterwards, which is why I think it is like doable. I think you just have to land the double absolutely perfect. Obviously going to be much easier on a 450 to get the double down. You do have to kind of rail the shit out of the corner on a 250 to get close. But I would be very interested to know if any of you have managed to do that, and if not, maybe make it a goal. Go, and if you're bored at some time, go spend 20 minutes just hitting that double down and see if you can get it. And you just saw as well at the start of this straight, usually it's meant to be a wall jump and then a table-ish kind of double and then a triple, but I don't know if it was an oversight or what, but it's fairly straightforward, even on a 250 from the inside, just to send the wall jump and downside the face of the next jump, and it ends up actually being a lot bigger. Because the wall jump face is so steep, it's quite hard to roll it quickly, if that makes sense. So it doesn't. Yeah, it's much quicker just to send that. Which, when the time comes when National starts, and hopefully this season will be on the calendar, will probably be one of my favourite lines that hopefully not everybody will be taking. But yeah, those of you who have the sneak preview of this video, little insights, you'll be able to use that to your advantage. I like the rollers on this track. I always find myself every now and then, maybe like one every 4 laps or so, somehow getting out of the rhythm of them and missing one. So I end up singling into the corner rather than doubling as you want to do. But they're not too challenging as well, as long as you just get a good feel for the bike. Oh, here you go. You see, I send it here. Somehow didn't crash here on the landing, even though I came out way short. But as you see there, I definitely think that jump's doable. Maybe I'll try it on a 450 at some point, just so I can downside the jump a little bit easier. And this hill here, in the 2020 version, used to give me so much grief when I first got the game with the low speed physics and wobbling and crashing up the hill. I think the main reason for that is the triple in the middle of it, in the 2020 version, I'm pretty sure was more of a huck, so you'd almost come to a stop by the time you jumped up and landed, which would make you go even slower for the hill, so to speak, which made those physics even worse. You can actually scrub up the hill a little bit, even on a 250 on this version. But that's just where the track layout's changed in real life as well. And I think he's released this at a really good time. He's been quite clever with it, with how he's releasing these tracks right around where the hype is for the real life races. And when I downloaded this track, it was already at, it was over 1,000 downloads already, which is it's pretty nuts when you look at the amount of downloads some tracks get. And just a huge shout out to Agitato, really. He's done a very good job. You can see that these tracks haven't been rushed at all. I'm sure he used the 2020 version of this as a massive base, so it would most likely have been kind of minor tweaks, and I think he mentioned in the description that he had some timing gate issues as well in the 2020 version, and he's done some thorough testing of this track, and I can attest to that. I've probably done maybe like 25 laps or so in total now at the time of recording this, and I've never had a lap not count once at all, and you know me, I like flirting with the edges of track a little bit to see what I can get away with. So yeah, very good track, very well put together, and I'm interested to see what else he's coming up with, because if he's just releasing things like Thunder Valley and Millville out of the blue, surely he's got to be working on other tracks as well. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't know if he watches these videos, but Agitato, if you can give us a little sneaky insight on what you're working on next in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated and pretty cool. One thing I did decide to do once I realised that I completely buggered up the recording for this was I thought it would be quite nice if at the end of the video I left kind of like a hot lap and just kind of a good sort of banker lap time. It isn't by any means my fastest lap time. I have beaten it since by like a good half a second or so, but I think it's just a good place to sort of aim for. Might be a little bit advanced for some of you, because as I say, it's not, whilst it's an easier version of the 2020 track, it's not the easiest track in the world. It's definitely a challenge. You can see I'm in a bit of a struggle town in third person view at the moment, so unless it's something that you get really comfortable with, I think the only reason I'm quite comfortable on the track is because of how much I played the 2020, and it does share a lot of features of the 2020 track. It's only certain sections that have changed. Like that corner there that I just went around before the finish line is, oddly enough, probably one of the most technical parts of the track, where it's just small choppy bumps going into it, and you're turning over a roller at the same time as trying to go fast. And on a 250 at least, you do have to really check up so you can downside the roller to get over the finish line clean. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. You soon learn what you're doing, and you can see here still how much I'm struggling in third person. I don't know exactly what it is, because I feel like I do exactly the same button inputs on the controller, but that little choppy braking section before that left in the tabletop, whenever I'm in third person, my back end kicks up so high, which makes me crash. But in first, I don't notice it. I don't know if it's a case of it still does it, but I don't let it put me off, and I just carry on playing as if nothing's happening, or if I am genuinely pressing different buttons. But I don't know. I'm not going to be doing races in third person anytime soon. I only do it in these videos just so you guys on the other side of the fence get an idea of what the track's like in third as well as first. I know it's probably like a 50-50 split, to be honest, of who plays in what camera angle. But yeah, that'll do it for my review of this track. I'm very happy with this track. I would say it's probably in my top 5 now, to be honest. Really enjoy it. So that is that. I'll cut the end of this because I'm not sure how long I even rode around for. I think it was like 15 minutes or something. But yeah, you see that I tried changing back to first person whilst trying to scrub down a hill. That never worked out well. But please leave a like if you haven't already, and subscribe as well. I'm setting myself a goal of 5,000 subs for the new year, which I think is definitely doable, as we've been growing really well lately. And that'll do it for me. I will just leave you with a raw hot lap of the track, and I hope you enjoy. So until I see you guys next time, peace.
Got bad shit all up in my mind right now. Fuck it, give me a minute and I'ma let it all out. I don't give a shit about an opinion, be another dimension when I wake up, wake up, wake up. Bitch, it's time to fill the cup. Got no fucking love, I feel so stuck on my luck. Get fucked.